Hey kids, welcome to section 3.3, using a budget. Today we're going to compare the amount budgeted to the actual expenditures that you did. So, have you ever been surprised by an unexpected expense? I have. I've come out of school before and I've had a flat tire, which means I have to go buy a new tire, and tires are expensive, and that's a lot of money. Or you get into a car accident and you have to pay for damages, or you get sick and you have to pay for a doctor's visit and medicine, or you end up in the hospital. There's all sorts of expenses that you're going to have to prepare for. And so you want to make sure that you always have enough money using a budget. Once you have completed a budget sheet outlining your past expenditures, you can use it to plan for future spending. And this is why you might want to have a monthly expense summary so that not only can you see what you did each month, but you can now compare month to month to see if you're spending more on average or less on average. And so, this expense summary is a monthly report that compares the amounts you have spent to the amounts that you have budgeted. And when you draft a budget, you should always include an emergency fund because you should always have money available in case something happens. My grandpa, back in the 60s, the 50s, whatever, he always kept a $100 bill tucked into his wallet because credit cards weren't a thing. And so he always carried $100 with him in his wallet as emergency money or mad money or, um, you know, pocketed money in case something happened that he needed cash. You definitely always have to have money set aside for unpredictable expenses because it's going to happen. You may say it's not going to, but it's going to. So here's example number one. This section's pretty quick and easy. Frank and Minnie Zorn have always kept accurate records of their expenditures. At the end of March, they prepared an expense summary. They had planned to spend $340 on groceries, but actually spent $361.85. How much more or less did they spend on groceries than they had budgeted for? Well, they spent 340. They budgeted, wait, no, they planned to spend 340. So I got these backwards. So their budget, come on, their budget was $340. They spent 600 or 306. Why can't I write today? $361.85. So they spent more than they had budgeted for. How much more? Well, you subtract them. So 361.85 minus 340 gives you $21.85 more. So you're comparing how much you should have spent with how much you did spend. And then you can say if you spent more or less, and you can subtract them to figure out the actual amount. Example 2, Kayvon's monthly budget allows him to spend $500 for shoes. In June, he spent $275. How much more or less did he spend than budgeted? Well, he spent $275 but was allowed to spend $500. So he definitely spent less. How much less? Well, take $500 and subtract $275 and you get $225 less. So when you're preparing these expense summaries, when you're looking at budget sheets, you definitely are trying to decide if you've over or underspent. Now, if you find out you overspend, then change your spending habits. If you found out that you underspent, then maybe you really don't need to spend that much money every month. So, budgets, get one. If you guys have any questions, please let me know. And as always, keep calm and keep trucking.